What's going on, guys? It's me, Kyle Livingston, and we got the puppies over here as well. This is how I'd usually start a video if I was in a suit, shaven and clean, but not today, guys. This is a bit of a different video, and I'm not going to try and come off salty or depressing, but this is the first time I feel like I'm talking to you guys as I am normal me. Usually I play a character that I've created and that I've been pushing into for years, and I want to talk about how I became this character, what got me into magic, and it's something that I've tried to talk about so many times in the past, and it just never happens. I hope you guys can see me okay. I am outside, it's getting toward dusk, and the reason I've never been able to post this video is because it hits a part of me I have been very uncomfortable talking about, and I don't know why. I feel like I shouldn't be embarrassed or uncomfortable talking about this, but I've always had to hide it. And every time someone's always asked me, oh, well, how does one become a magician? I end up giving this kind of like half-truth answer about, you know, I grew up on a farm, I started working for tips, quit McDonald's, gave up my dreams of becoming a pilot, and then before you know it, I just hustled up and I make a good income being a magician. But that's not the full truth of it, though it is a good partial truth. I'll let the puppies go here, my puppies. But like I said, I don't want this to be depressing, but it's also a reason that I have a hard time working a real job. And I'm hopefully going to be able to explain this in a way. You don't have to watch this if you don't want to. It's just me rambling, but it's something that I've never done with you guys. So we're gonna have to go back, not as far back as this. I grew up on this farm, actually shoveling crap and stacking hay right in that barn over there, but I don't want to go that far back. I just want to go back to where I think significance began for me, and that was around the time when I was 14 and I got my first job ever at McDonald's. It is also where I would meet one of my best friends, which will become very relevant later in this story. But at McDonald's, guys, I was working roughly, you know, I was there for 2 years, and over that 2 years I learned everything. I learned how to close, open, run the kitchen, the front desk, everything. I could do it all. And I got a really good in there with the managers because I didn't want to get fired. I needed the job. I was trying to get my pilot license at the time. I was planning on becoming a pilot, believe it or not. And what ended up happening was 2 years into the job, I was just turning 16, and I had a really good setup. So I would always close drive-through, and then when I was done closing, while my parents would wait to come and pick me up, I would help everybody else out, and I would always leave early because I just knew how to do my job, and I just wanted to do it, help everyone else out a little bit, and get out. But in the corporate world, because they look at you like you are an asset, you're part of a team, you're there to make somebody else money, and you're easy to replace. It's so soulless in that aspect. And what ended up happening was new managers came in and they told me that just because I'm done early doesn't mean I can leave early. I'd have to help everybody else out because we leave as a team. But the way I looked at it was I was an experienced team member. I was getting the pay the same as everybody else. I was still helping other people. Well, I was doing my job very well, but that wasn't enough. They wanted me to pick up for other people's slack. So my advice to them was, so you want me to either slow down and take my time closing so everyone else can catch up, or I'm just gonna end up staying here late. My parents are gonna have to come pick me up even later now because I'm working till like 1 in the morning, these dead hour shifts. And I just got tired of it. So one day I just stopped coming in. I said, you know what, this is the end. Now, a lot of you don't know actually why I got into magic. I loved learning it when I was younger. I never took it seriously, but this was the point where I had some really close friends pointing out that I knew too much about magic, that I shouldn't be working at McDonald's anyways, and they advised me that I bet you can make more off tips than you can with what you're working with what you're getting paid at McDonald's. So I quit McDonald's and I started working for tips. Sure enough, I could make more off tips than I could with what I made at McDonald's because I could go work 3 or 4 hours in a restaurant and tell them I'm working for tips, but nobody was obliged to tip me. And sure enough, I could make, you know, anywhere from $60 to $100 in an evening. Now, this is where things started to change. A lot of my friends, I grew up in a small town. In a small town, drugs are fairly prevalent. There is a lot of drug issues. Actually, in fact, the town that I live in the corresponding region, has some of the largest drug busts in all of Ontario. And when you grow up running around on the streets with friends, it's very in your face most of the time. And I'm not going to indulge this part too much, but while I was working to basically take my magic career off. Some of my friends had more, I'm going to say, bigger dreams when it came to making money in not so legal manners. And I had an emotional reaction to this because I always felt in my heart that there was just more out there to do than drugs. What would end up happening is years from the time I was 16 to the time I was about 19, I became so emotionally I don't know how to explain it, but my emotions, I didn't feel them the way I think you normally should because I hid them to deal with situations I wasn't comfortable with. And like I said, I don't want to get too involved in this story, so I'm just gonna skip to the point where one of my best friends, somebody that was my best friend, I lived on his couch for years, and he was one of the reasons I am where I am today. Ended up committing suicide. He took his own life, unfortunately, right around the time I was 19 years old. And at that time, it didn't faze me one bit because I was using magic as an escape to basically get away from all of my problems in life. There was a lot of drama going on when I was a lot younger, and I essentially used magic as somewhat of an escape because I could go anywhere, literally anywhere, and so long as I had a pack of cards or something, I could entertain people and they would have a great time, and we'd be invited to cool parties and I'd meet all these interesting people, and it was such an amazing tool to defer from my problems. But emotionally at the time, I wasn't inept to deal with it. So what I would end up doing is over 4 years, from the time I was 19 to the time I was about 23 years old, all I did was work. I just wanted to perform, work, do whatever I could to just keep getting ahead, because I just felt like there was so much more out there than these small towns might have to offer. So when I hit 23 years old, I started, well, building up to even 23, I was suffering from anxiety. I didn't know what caused it. It didn't really bother me that much that I had it. But essentially I was having anxiety attacks like, I don't know, they came on sporadically. I could have one month and then not have it for 3 months and then just have another attack. And they didn't faze me. I knew I had anxiety because my brain would get into these really weird, over intellectual, like a logic part of my brain would turn on and it would just go haywire. So what would end up happening is I would get hit with a serious drought of depression. The anxiety was an underlying emotional problem that I was hiding from, which was in relatance to my best friend committing suicide, because I never emotionally dealt with the problems that I was facing, so I ran from them. And then eventually they caught up with me, and I suffered from depression for about 4 to 6 months. This endless void of just wondering not only why, but why couldn't I have done more? And you end up feeling not bad for yourself, but you end up going down this weird road because I don't know how to describe it, and I don't know how much sense this video is going to make, but at the end of the day, what I did to survive depression was magic. I used it to run away from my problems. I used it to run away from my sadness, my void of emotions, because it made other people happy. And there is some weird mechanism in your brain that gives you some dopamine rush when you make other people excited, when you make other people happy, when you give these people these experiences. And it's something that I became addicted to. Not like it's a bad addiction, it saved me from a world of pain, in my own personal opinion. Of right now, of me trying to make this video for you, well, maybe I'm making this more for me than you. I might not even post this. If I post this, I'll be impressed, because it takes so much guts. And I don't know why it's so hard to talk about this stuff. People don't talk about it publicly. I have never once really told too many people about the story, so I try and avoid it most of the time. But the reason I can't work a real job is, at this point, after going through the experiences that I've been through, I find that I'm left with a void of, I can't do enough. When you I don't know what causes these kind of emotions that I'm experiencing today, but today I feel like I'm running out of time. I feel like there isn't enough time on this planet to ever be working a regular job or feeling like you can't do more. I don't know how to explain it. I just feel like every day that goes by is one day less I'm going to be on this planet to do whatever it is that I want to do. And I'm so grateful I've been able to get away with what I've been able to get away with, but it's just, for some reason, it's just not enough. And I don't feel like I could ever get that from working for somebody at a job, a soulless, mind-sucking job where they don't care. If there's somebody better than you, cheaper than you, that can make more money for the shareholders and the CEO than you, then you're out. You're gone. And after all I've been through, I could never imagine, and I always get hit with this brick wall. I don't know what it is when you work with yourself. A lot of people always pump me up, but usually people that work for themselves are always pumping themselves down. And I'm killing myself. I'm trying to do more, to just give more, experience more, and just not be falling behind. And falling behind is a hard thing to say. I just mean I can't relax. I find myself, I don't have any time in the day. I literally just come home and I work, and the second I stop working and start relaxing, I can only do it for an hour, and then I realize, look, I'm running out of time. I don't know what this feeling of time is, but I'm just, every day I wake up, if I'm not doing more, I'm falling behind. And it's become a complex. I can't relax. I'm finding every time 2 a.m. rolls around, I might get half an hour of Fortnite in if I'm lucky before my computer crashes, and I just move on. But this is just something interesting, and I think it's a neat topic on how I got to where I am today. And it's so weird that as an artist specifically, to be making a full-time income, I'm super grateful for. And a lot of you guys are probably from the city. I literally grew up out in the woods, so by doing what I'm doing as it is, a lot of my friends, they don't even know how to drive to the city. They literally, I'm out, look where I am, guys. Like, most people don't even know how to get to the city from where I am. And I'm driving there 3 days a week at least to try and put these shows on and do this stuff. And I'm doing all of this stuff, guys. Like, what I post on my Facebook is actually very selective, which is another problem that I have because I can't be real. I have a hard time being real because the real me has to face these challenges. But the fact of the matter is I've emotionally evolved in a way where I can look at this in a way that I can maybe turn it into something more beneficial and stop hiding from it like I used to. I used to run from my past to make my future, like pretending like my future was more than my past. I don't know how to explain it. But all I find myself today is waking up every bloody day, just trying to just do something different, something more beneficial to the people around me. And the only way I can do it is by getting my own stuff together. Essentially, I got to get together myself. I got to figure everything out. Of all the stuff that happened, if there's one thing that has been consistent in my life, guys, it is just magic. Magic, magic, magic. It is such an odd thing to say. And I don't know how to explain it, but like when something becomes this attached to your soul, and it's become so much more through the experiences, the friends, the people I'm meeting, the fact that I'm getting paid to travel internationally, and all of these things that are happening because it all started from this very dark place. I do a golf tournament every year. I've done it almost since the beginning of when this golf tournament started. It was about 4 years ago. And I think the golf tournament's been around for 5 or 6 years. You can actually look it up. It's called the Ryan Chisholm Charity Golf Tournament. And this gentleman started a fundraising golf tournament when his son died from a rare brain tumor. And I've done this golf tournament every year, but only in the last year has it really been emotionally affecting me, because this guy came from a set of circumstances that were so horrible that it would ruin families. It can ruin people's lives. It can send them into a spout of depression and horrible spiral of just unfortunate things. And this guy started this golf tournament. And when I started doing this golf tournament, I couldn't believe the amount of work that I was getting from it. I was literally getting some of the best clients I've ever had. I'm talking like Medieval Times, Humber College, the Sheridan. Like, it was a constant, endless stream of awesome jobs and connections. And I came to the realization that all of this is only happening because someone's son had to die. And it's hard to get that out. I'm sorry, I'm trying to keep myself together here. It's just, I can't believe how much comes from something so unfortunate. It honestly, it's so humbling, and it's so, I can't put words to it. It's just when somebody does something and they turn something that's horrible into something amazing, it's a rarity, and it's something that seems to come from tragedy, and it's something that I found in my own life. But I want to just share this story with you guys, because I think if you're going through something rough, you need to find an escape. To survive horrible things, you need to find a way to put it out into the world, because when you do, you can help people with those experiences, with those stories. You can help by, doing fundraisers. That golf tournament has raised well over $100,000 in the last 5 years alone. And like I said, I'm not going to keep rambling on about this. I don't know how all this relates, but this is just me talking to you guys, and I'm hoping you got something out of this. Like I said, I wasn't trying to make this sad. I'm not trying to make this depressing. It's just a fact of reality. And like I said, this emotion I've been having recently has been this emotion of I'm running out of time. And I don't know what it means. I don't know what it is. It freaks me out, to be honest, because I can't relax anymore. Maybe it's just the burden of working for yourself. You just feel like this show that I'm doing, for example, this 500-seat show. It's the first time I've ever done this. There's a good chance I'm going to lose a ton of money. It's costing me a ton of money. I have no idea if it's going to work out. But every day I'm not out there promoting it. Every day I'm sitting here, I feel like I'm dying inside, because it's one thing that could grow. And you guys, it's weird how much I show you guys, because I really only show you guys this blimp of my life on this YouTube or Facebook page about magic. But there's so much more going on, and I'm just involved in so much, and so much beauty that has come from some just pretty rough things. So I'm just going to share that, throw that out there. It's something I've never been able to post. This has been a long video. I'm just going to stop ranting about it and try and post more magic videos for you guys. But I wanted to touch base and just give you guys something that was real, something that was just from my heart, something I've never discussed before with anybody. And I just feel like now is probably the best time to start sharing this. So I hope you guys find a passion in life. I hope you use that passion to change people's lives. And I hope you hustle hard and live every day to your last. I'm not trying to be over motivational here, guys, but we are not here for very long. And I was recently in Vegas. The only reason I went to Vegas was to watch my idols before they retire or pass on. A few magicians I've been really connected with, unfortunately, passed on this year, and it led me to a realization that life's way too short. So live the dream, guys. Do everything you can to make the world a better place. Stay awesome. I look forward to chatting to you real soon.